Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Blazer Victory Podcast. John Duncan here, and I'm joined as always with my co-host Darian Smith. And guys, it is National Signing Day. Well, early National Signing Day 2023. We are
Yeah,
recording this at 8:27 p.m. Central Standard Time on December the 21st. So, Darian, as of now, we have 14 guys signed. Might be two on the way. I hope maybe one or heck, both of them, uh, signed while we're, recording this episode. But overall, I mean, Trent Dilfer the whole time has said fire breathers only. And buddy, I mean, these are 14 fire breathers for sure that we have signed on paper right now.
yeah. Trent really came through with this class. I believe we have good quality players. I think that's where you start at. You want quality over quantity, but then just what I'm so impressed by is was he hired? Was it 19? I'm like 3 weeks ago.
Oh yeah, just a couple weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah, just a couple weeks ago he was hired. So to be able to come in and recruit the guys that's already in on the team. Everybody predicted this mass exodus of
Hmm.
talent. All these guys we were going to have to replace. I look around, I don't see much leaving. So that was already a win right there. He has like the staff, the Bill Clark, Brian Vincent staff. They left him with some good players on the team. So he came in and recruited those guys, and then to be able to see what guys that you want, from Vincent staff, getting with Tristan Henderson, who has been a godsend.
Oh yeah, Tristan's the man. And hey, and during that media availability that Trent Dilfer, had with us, that's something that Steve asked, like, what has Tristan, meant to this recruiting staff? And Trent was like, he meant the world. Like without Tristan Henderson, like probably none of these guys signed. Like he has been the real deal. So yeah, shout out to Tristan Henderson for real.
And to me, that's got to be when preparation meets opportunity. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And just seeing some of Differ's comments saying how he's going to be a part of his staff for a long time. This is a guy that he didn't know at all. And so
Hmm.
I want to give Tristan his props just for being ready. And I was more impressed by just reading the article and listening to Trent say he studied Trent's player profile. So it's basically just seeing what type of guys he like and just kind of, all right, before he even get in here, let me show him that I've removed these guys from our profile. I've put these guys up here because your profile states that these are the type of players you want. That is so impressive. That is so impressive.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's difficult to do, and to be able to pull that off, really impressive in the way that he impressed Trent like that. I think we're seeing a guy ascend in coaching ranks. That's what we're going to see with Tristan. I think he's going to be a big time coach in the future. That's just impressive, man.
Yeah.
So
100% agree. Yeah.
yeah, so just for them to get together and to create a staff on the run, and the staff have to recruit as soon as it's like they say, hey, welcome to Birmingham, drop your bags, all right, let's get on the road, we recruiting. So like the defensive line coach, um was it
You talking about Miguel Patrick?
Miguel Patrick? I did
Hmm.
not know he was a coach at Cedar Grove High School in
Hey, you
Atlanta.
do now.
Yes, he was able to bring some ballers on. We'll get to that, but just details like that, man. It's really really impressive how he was able to put it together and to get the quality of players, get them in on the visits. We barely had enough time. Get them in on visits, get a staff together, talk to them, impress them, get them to commit. These are guys that a lot of the guys anyway had a lot of other offers, like a lot of top G5 offers, a lot of P5 offers, and we were able to get in there and battle it out. When I was at UAB, I mean, we didn't get too many of those guys, but now it's just cool to see that not only can we get those guys, we got them on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
So I want people to appreciate that how we were able to, and we'll get into the weeds of it, but I just think the general broad overview was important to like point out how difficult it is to do this, but just to do it in such a short amount of time is impressive.
Right, and also too, this is something Trent said during the media Zoom call he had today. Is that over the last couple weekends they've had about 24 official guys on campus visiting, and you look at what 14 now. Hopefully, 16 of those 24 have signed and committed to UAB. Like that is huge.
Right. That is very huge.
So,
That's
well,
a good
guys,
percentage, man.
it is, man. It is. It's like it just shows that if Trent and that coaching staff can get a guy on campus, it don't matter what, like you just said, don't matter if they've got offers from Missouri, BYU, Mississippi State, wherever. If he can get you on campus and show you the facilities and tell you and show you what this, what Trent's all about and what this staff's all about, then hey, he can be able to get some talent here on the South Side. Guys, but before we get into just kind of discussing the 14 guys that UAB signed today and just some overall thoughts on how early signing day went for UAB, do we just have some business to take care of? If you are not subscribed to the Blazer Victory podcast right now and you're listening, go ahead and hit that follow or subscribe button. Whether you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, wherever, Podbean, just go ahead and hit that follow or subscribe button. And that just helps us grow because when you subscribe, you're more than likely not going to miss any future episodes. And it saves you some time for having to go and find it and download. They come straight to your device. So definitely do us a favor and go ahead and hit that follow or subscribe button. And also, Darren, I think it's going to be pretty cold up here in Birmingham this weekend. Haven't you heard that?
Oh, pretty cold. Is it supposed to be snowing?
Oh, it's going to be in the teens. I think the low
Lord.
Saturday or Sunday is supposed to get down to like 6. But oh man, I am so glad I've got a Blazer Victory podcast hoodie that'll help keep me warm through these cold and tough times.
Yes.
So,
Where
man,
where where can where can I get a Blazer Victory hoodie podcast hoodie from? I need to know because they look so cool, but they also keep you so warm. And the product on it, the show that is like showing off on the hoodie, I listen to that show all the
you sure
time.
do.
Where can
Yeah.
I get that hoodie from?
Oh, buddy, I'm so glad you asked. You can go to www.storefrontier.com/blazerpod, and I'll even put that link in the podcast description. So you don't even have to remember that. Just click that link below under the podcast, and it'll take you right to where you can buy a hoodie or a t-shirt and then just help support the Blazer Victory podcast. But also, Darian, this is a person that we've relied on definitely this year and last year, but for a while, is a UAB athletics fan on Twitter. We just want to give him or her a shout out. Don't know who they are personally, but man, they kill it on recruiting, just inside info, just keeping track of everything. So guys, first of all, make sure you're following us, twitter.com/blazerpod. Follow the Blazer Victory podcast, but make sure to follow UAB Athletics Fan on Twitter. That's at UAB Athletics Fan because they do such a great job, Darren. Like I have to rely on them so much because let's face it, man, there's some other websites and I don't want to mention them, but let's be honest, they don't really, schools like UAB, they just don't really give us the time of day. So shout out to UAB Athletics Fan for just, staying on track of things and for just keeping Blazer Nation informed.
Yeah, man. What I also like about the UAB athletic Twitter page is how they have the details. They always have a nice detail. It's like they always first to break the news on who may be signing, or they have a good idea, and they don't, whoever they are, they're a good inside source.
Hmm.
But it's like the details. I love the details that they have surrounding the commitment or the offer, or it's just good caption. It's like good caption info that gets you there. So I highly recommend following that page. I like the other page, UAB Prospects. It's a newer page. They
Yes.
do a good job of keeping up with prospects and everything. And UAB Athletic Fan does a good job of just like inside source, real person, don't know who it is, but it's somebody on the inside, man. And they get it first and they get it accurate. That's the main thing. So shout out to them.
Hey, bro, Jalen Ferguson is official.
Yeah, I just saw that. Just signed.
All right, so we got 15 now. We just waiting on that one mystery guy from Florida.
Yeah, the one mystery Florida
Whoever that be. Hey, it might be. Hey, it might be Tim Tebow. He's coming back to play some high school
guy.
football.
Yeah, we shall see.
No, yeah, we've got a couple ideas, and I know some of those accounts that we just mentioned. UAB prospects, UAB athletic, and they both have an idea of who it might be. And hey, if it's either one of them or what we talked about, Darren, before we started recording, if it's that guy, man, that would
That'll
be
be
a game
dope.
changer.
Yeah, that'll be really dope. We
All
trying to
right.
just that's the reason why we doing this late. We trying to make sure we get that last person we want to be able to talk about it. But
Yeah, let's be honest, man. It's past both our bedtimes. Both you and I work our real jobs super early in the morning. You a little earlier than me, so hey, people are thinking like, didn't you just say 8:27 is when you guys started? Yeah, but this is late for us.
yeah, but I'm gonna be honest, man. I have insomnia. Like I stay up and I just it's not good for me. I need to get better. I know I'm like a middle aged guy now. I'm a middle aged man now. I don't need to be staying up like that, but I do anyway because I got kids that be throwing fits and stuff. So here we
Hey,
are.
I know the feeling, man. I know the feeling. And to be honest, I'd probably be up late looking at my phone too. Like, come on, man, just waiting for that 16th person to sign. But before we get into just going over each of these signees individually, I just want to talk with you, Darren. Just what are your just overall thoughts on the signing class? And I know we can get into this too if we want. I just want to get your overall thoughts on just rankings. Like, you look at a recruiting site and, wherever it has UAB, whatever. But first, let's just talk about thoughts on the signing class. And you kind of alluded to it earlier. This is a good class, guys. Like, right now, 15, hopefully going to be 16 guys for the early signing day. This is something that, Trent Dilfer in the media availability said that this is, in his opinion, one of the best classes UAB has ever signed. Now, in the context of things, like Darren just mentioned, I mean, Trent has only been here a couple weeks, and it's a testament to guys like Tristan Henderson and some other guys on that recruiting staff. Like, they've been working their tails off these last couple weeks, getting highly regarded talent onto the South Side, getting them in the facilities, and like we just mentioned earlier, like they are nailing most of these guys. Like, they are getting most of these guys that they're bringing on campus, which is huge. Now, sure, we lost out on a couple guys. I know the quarterback we lost to Auburn, and there was a guy that it was a defensive lineman that UCF came in, seemed like last second, and
Yeah,
took him away.
Andrew Rumpf was his name, I believe.
I can't remember his name, but I know that it kind of seemed like he was coming to UAB, but it just seemed like that last night UCF swung in and swung pretty hard, and they were able to land them. But overall, like, other than those couple minor examples, like, I tend to agree that I think this is a great class, especially for the early signing day, Darian. Um, he was able to Trent Dilfer was able to, you know, get some needs that this team really needed heading into for the 2023 season. You look at big guys up front, both on the defensive line and the offensive line, because there's going to be some guys that UAB is going to have to replace. And you look at some skill wide receivers that we're going to get into. But Darren, what are your overall thoughts on this signing day for UAB?
This was a really good class. What I thought was interesting, if they're gonna a lot of times on like if you go to 24/7 Sports, of course for UAB it's gonna take a while to get everybody to get all the right information. They got to get decommits and commits. They're never up to date, so it always takes time, especially dealing with UAB. We don't have that. We need to out. They need to figure out whoever UAB athletic fan is, and so they can have a dedicated person to it on like
Hmm.
24/7 arrivals and stuff like that. Or and I like On3 too. I like that website. I'm gonna start using it a bit more. It seemed a little bit more up to date, at least for us anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we can have a dedicated 24/7 sports beat writer like a lot of schools have, man, that'd be awesome. Or rivals beat writer. So it's gonna take time for our composite rankings to really take hold. But I saw from this the Herd USF account on Twitter said per 24/7 Sports the average of people, and if you look at the average, which is the quality of player that they have by rank, is not because they do a composite score by quality and quantity. So if you take our return class, we had a whole bunch of players. We were one of the top schools in the CUSA that year in recruiting because we recruited like I can't remember how many scholarship guys we had because we was trying to build a team. But now like we only have I think this one is kind of old, and so it doesn't even have everybody. So it probably has like 12 or 13 of the guys. But it has us tied for third in the ACC. I mean, in the AAC.
Oh, well,
Excuse me.
that's good. Hey.
At 84-73, but behind SMU and UTSA. So that's important. That's like I want people to understand the quality. I also want people to understand like we didn't lose guys in the portal that was so important. Now you get to supplement. So now
Mm.
you take the last year's class that we had. A lot of those guys redshirted. The car of Faultroys and guys like that we were excited about landing, but we can't even really remember now because they take their redshirt freshman year.
Hmm.
Taven Currys and all those type of guys. So now those guys are going to be some of those guys are going to be expected to play, and you know I'm glad that they get their opportunity. They was a lot of those guys had to sit behind your Noah Wilders and Tyler Taylors and all those type of guys. But now we get to supplement them with this class. This class is really good, and we can get into it with them about this class. You want to just start from the first signee of the
Well,
day?
well, yeah. Before we do that, and I would like to go and kind of order about how they came in as this morning. You're the first, and then we'll come up to last where Ferguson just came in. But before we do that, I had one question that I feel like we need to talk about because I've gotten some text and DMs, just kind of questioning why uh, there wasn't a quarterback signed. And my response, Darian, we talked about this earlier in the day. Um, I mean, I do think this staff trusts Dylan Hopkins and Jacob Zeno. Like they have seen the upside for both of those guys. So was there a real need to sign a quarterback in the early signing day period? I don't think there was. I mean, I guess it would be good to just have one just in case. And I know they went after the guy that ended up going to Auburn, but I mean, I just don't see like the urgency of getting one. So that was my response to everybody. Like, I just don't, I think the staff trust Dylan Hopkins and Jacob Zeno, the guys they have in that quarterback room. Um, and they've seen the upside to both of those guys. So I don't really see a reason to why like oh my gosh like we have to sign a quarterback now like they could wait until next year. I mean, Darren, what are your thoughts on not seeing a quarterback as one of those 15 guys?
Um, I do think we need a quarterback because both of those guys are seniors. Um, I do like I what I also want to say. I do like that Trent is coming in. I want to see the competition open back up because I want to see what Damon Stewart can do. I looked at a lot of his videos over the offseason and it looked like he became a lot more polished as a passer. So I don't just want to like
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised we didn't see him in some packages. Like
right,
yeah, like
especially with the
I'm kind of shocked
injuries.
about that.
Yeah, especially with injuries to Dylan. I thought that maybe they could have did a little bit with here and there with them, but under a new coach, I think you can open it up a little bit more, and the new coach would be open, the new staff would be open to see what's on the team and evaluate it properly. So I'm cool. I'm down with seeing him and see what he can do. And I do the reason why I do think you need a quarterback because if I'm a QB and I see two senior, redshirt seniors, so they're not this will be their last year. Man, if I'm a big time freshman, if I'm a 4-star guy, I'm gonna say, hey, I can come in redshirt, and
Hmm.
more than likely, after this year, that job is gonna be mine to lose. So
Hmm.
I got a free time to come in there and just learn the system, no pressure on me, with some good veteran guys, and I can be ready and can have 4 years at the helm. So what I think the philosophy is behind that is I think a lot of people forget about February. That's national signing day right there on February.
See, that's what we were accustomed to too before they started this early signing day. Like it was always just in February, but now here they've thrown this, which I'm not gonna lie, Darren, I love early signing day, because I do think it helps, the group of five and schools like UAB to go ahead and get some guys committed and signed. But yeah, it it just kind of sucks to have it, right before Christmas and during the bowl games and like what we were accustomed to, just waiting until February. So, but you bring up a great point on how signing day was in February. So do you think that maybe they could have a guy in February, maybe, or?
Oh yes, I think you can be way more specific. You got to think like this is what Trent Dilfer does. He's a quarterback guy, you know.
Yeah.
So he's going to be able to really appeal to guys. I think he did right. I really see the coaching philosophy because we brought in a hell of a lot of playmakers on this with this recruiting class, and we have playmakers already on the team.
Hmm.
So you got young playmakers, you got a good offensive line, you bringing in guys. I think you do it that way. I think you say, okay, I need to make sure I get these guys in first. I need to get the meat and potatoes in. There's still a lot of unsigned quarterbacks out there. A lot of top flight,
Hmm.
4-star, 5-star quarterbacks. Some in the transfer portal, some in high school, some inside. Some want to wait and see how it play out. There's a lot of guys out there left, guys. So I think you can be very specific in evaluating who you want. You can be picky because now it's not as much pressure to you filled out that roster. You've addressed major needs by not just getting quantity guys. You got quality guys in need areas. So now I can say, okay, all I need is really one quarterback. One
Hmm.
quarterback. I can really focus. I can really be choosy, and you can land somebody whether that's transfer portal or high school. So I would rather have like a high school guy. If it's a transfer portal guy, I'd rather it be a young transfer portal guy with
Yeah.
talent. But yeah, so because they'll have that year to redshirt and just season up, and bam, they can be ready to roll in the system. No, they'll be familiar with the city and be ready to roll. So I think that's what the plan is, man. I'm excited. I see the philosophy, and I'm good with it. No, you don't need to rush that quarterback.
Very well said. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump into these 15 guys. And I guess we'll start. The first signee this morning was Everett Rusall or Rosal. I think it's Rusall. He's Rusall Jr. He's a linebacker out of Ellenwood, Georgia. I mean, this guy is 6'2", 220. out of Cedar Grove High School. We mentioned earlier Miguel Patrick, who's UAB's new defensive line coach, used to be the head coach at Cedar Grove. So this was one of those two guys that Coach Patrick brought into the UAB program. And for those that don't know, I mean, this guy chose UAB over Louisville, Arkansas, Mississippi State, and some others in Missouri. So he chose UAB over a bunch of SEC schools, and a couple ACC schools, UCF, who's going to be in the Big 12, Virginia Tech. I mean, this is a highly talented guy that UAB is going to have at linebacker. And, you look at the film, I mean, I love it, kind of watching his film, Darian, is that, a couple of those highlights is him getting in there on special teams and blocking a couple punts. Like, you can tell, he's really quick. He's got good ball skills. So I really think that he's going to come in and make an impact kind of right away in that linebacker room, which, UAB's losing some dudes in that linebacker room. So maybe he can come in kind of, right away and make some type of impact for UAB.
Yeah, man. So this is one of the guys I was really looking out for. I saw UAB athletic fan tweet that he took a visit and whatever, and I started really looking out for him. And I'm starting thinking, man, if we can nail this dude, because he just took a official visit to Louisville on the 16th of December, if I'm not mistaken, or it probably was a week before. I don't know if his plans changed, but I saw him tweet that out and everything. So he was taking official visits to like P5 schools and stuff like that, and they really wanted him. But man, I was really hoping, like, man, if we can pull this one off. I thought it was one that I was gonna have to sweat and see. And I was so relieved when I saw it was like the first guy to come. I was like, oh snap, we got him. Because this dude, first of all, when you just look at him, he's big. He's a big linebacker. Like, so he's a guy, they had him listed at 6'2", 215. He looked about 225.
Mm-hmm.
He looked bigger. I liked his film, man. Let's just start there. Like, first, no, I'm gonna start at this school, Cedar Grove High School. I believe that's Metro Atlanta area. They got some dogs over there.
Man, they do. Yeah, they do.
I started looking at his film, and I started looking at our other signee, Ricky Lee. I started looking at his film. I'm like, then I started looking at, kind of going down that wormhole. I'm like, God, Lee, how many players they got? Like, this program, they got dudes with like full sleeve tattoos.
Yeah, right.
Like, who is this team, man? They remind you ever seen Friday Night Lights, and that last team was that Dallas Carter?
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
They remind you of that team. I'm like, Jesus Christ, ain't nothing but dogs all over. So just seeing that was like, okay, you already know you in the right area, around the right pedigree. And when I looked at his film, to be that big, to be able to move side to side like that. Like, so one thing I saw that we prioritized in the linebacking core was speed. We'll get into it, but we have a lot of speedy backers. And for him to be that size as a freshman, as a freshman, and to be able to, I'm like, ooh, I love for our freshmen in the G5. I love for them to come and sit a year. But like you said, if this guy mentally, if he can come in and learn the system, this dude can play right away. Like, he can be a true freshman starter because he's already built up. He has it already. Go look at his pictures. He's a stud looking guy, and he has the speed. And so this is going to be all about mentally. If he can, as a young freshman, can he come in and learn the system and adjust to the speed of the college game? If he can do that, he has a good shot of playing and getting rotation and being on the field.
And real quick, too, Darren, before we move on, I know you brought up Friday Night Lights. I just wanted to mention real quick that for those that don't know, the TV show Friday Night Lights is a lot better than the movie Friday Night Lights. So
Really?
if you have not caught the TV show, I don't think it's on Netflix anymore. But hey, for those that do know, clear eyes, full heart, can't lose. Did you watch the TV show, Darren?
No, I did not watch the TV show. I was always the movie.
I
The
don't see
movie's good. Hey, the movie is good. Yeah, the movie's good. Well, hey, let's go ahead and talk about this other stud from Cedar Grove High School, Ricky Lee. Comes in, as I mentioned, from Cedar Grove, Ellenwood, Georgia. He comes in as an athlete. This is a guy that's about 5'11", 170, 175 pounds. I think, Darren, correct me if I'm wrong, but I could see him playing like DB or maybe even
Mhm.
safety or something like that. But I mean, hey, this was a guy who also had some good offers. I mean, this is a guy who had offers from UConn, Colorado, Duke, Arkansas State. I mean, this is a very talented guy that, hey, shout out again to, Coach Patrick, defensive line coach, who was at Cedar Grove for bringing Ricky Lee in, as well to the South Side. But what kind of popped off to you, Darian, about Ricky Lee? Like, do you see him playing DB or like a cornerback or something?
Oh yes, I definitely see him there. And what I saw was kind of like reminding me what we have in like Keandre Swopes
Hmm.
is that dog. Like so, it's a couple things that you look for. You're gonna you'll look for the measurables, in which we'll get into like Jalen Ferguson. He has the measurables. You look for that speed or something like that. Now he has the speed, and he has like if you see him, he's well. I know he's only like 170, but he's well put together. But you also, or in DBs, you look for that competitiveness, that toughness, that man. So from him, all I saw was a dude that was gonna win. Like he seemed like he got that dog in him. I'm like, man, this is the type of players you want.
Hmm.
Have you ever seen they talked about this a lot with Alabama this year. This the best way I can put it. Like Alabama seemed like they had all the measurables and all the glitz and glam and stars this year, but it seemed like they was missing an element of toughness.
Hmm.
And they was like, man, back in the day, they would show like some of those players that they had, like the linebacker, what's his name, Reuben,
Oh yeah, Reuben Foster. Yeah.
Reuben Foster, and they had all those type of guys that was just like dogs and just nasty, would get
Hmm.
after it, like Tony Mitchell, just and that is what, to me, that's what Ricky Lee, that's what he embodies. That's what I saw, just like a dude that was just gonna compete, a dog, somebody you want to see on the field, that you want on your team. And these are the type of dudes I used to love playing with. Like I just love playing when they give you this type of confidence and that they just gonna make the play because they are just there. So I'm glad that we have them. I'm glad that we got a connection to that school because I'm impressed with that school and the type of dogs they put out. So um he could be a guy that could be a rotation day one too. Because we lost some corners and stuff like that. So we shall see.
Definitely. Well, the third guy that came in and signed is Connor Knight, defensive lineman out of Hewitt Trustful. I mean, this was a guy, that was committed to South Florida, and then they made a coaching change, and he decided to, stay in town and go on the South Side with UAB. I mean, this guy, hey, we've all seen the film, 6'3", 275, inside, a defensive tackle. You put him right over the center, 3-star. This is a guy that, had offers, you know, Florida State. I mean, just a bunch of like South Florida, WKU, Houston, like Arkansas, a bunch of really good offers, and he chose to stay at home and go to UAB. I mean, and just watching his film, Darian, like he he's already super strong. He seems
Yeah,
to just
that's what
kind of
jumped off.
throw guys aside and get to that running back or quarterback. Like he's a stud, and I can't wait. I mean, he might be one of those that can come in right away too, and contribute to the team.
Yeah, he might be. We'll see because I know in the trenches it's a little different.
Yeah, yeah,
First,
it's gonna,
you
yeah.
know what I'm saying? But that is the first thing. It's funny that you mentioned that. First thing that I saw was like his strength. I started wondering like, dang, how much does he bench?
Right.
Because the guys were like struggling to move him.
And these ain't. Hey,
You
look,
know?
like these guys that he was throwing around, like he's one of those scrawny guys.
Yeah, so I was impressed. Like, yeah, dude is strong. Like, so I see potential like run stopper right off of the bat. What I'll be looking for, with him is like I want to see his development as a pass rusher, just his
Yeah.
complete game or whatever. But and I want to see him, get bigger because he might end up just being that run stopper, just clogging up, and he can move. Like he wasn't. I like the fact that he wasn't the run stopper to where the guy that just kind of, oh, I'm gonna stand your guy up and I'm gonna just create a pile. No, like you said, he used his hands well, he shed guys, and he made the play. And I'm excited to see him grow. I'm glad that we were able to get him. Good job by Emmanuel Waller, people like that. They really just recruited him, and it's a big get, and I think he's gonna be a good Blazer for time come for the time come.
Well, speaking of Emmanuel Waller, he signed next right after night. Defensive lineman out of Oak Mountain. We've talked about Waller. It feels like a few episodes these last few weeks. But I mean, 3-star defensive lineman, 6'4", 240. Film wise, gets off of his blocks really well. Really good coming off the edge. This is a guy, was committed to BYU, but chose UAB over BYU, West Virginia, Georgia Tech, Marshall, Indiana, Mississippi State, a bunch of, again, another guy that chose UAB over a really good list of schools, a really good list of offers. But time and time again, Darren, I feel like you've said this on Twitter, you've said this on the show, just an ambassador for UAB football. Like him and Connor, Waller has been almost the guy on Twitter helping recruit for UAB. Like, hey, come join me on the side. Hey, come on. UAB, we're going to win championships. Like, hey, like he has been instrumental in, getting some of these other guys to, come to UAB. So, hey, major props to Waller, and I mean his film pops too. So, I mean, overall, just really good get for UAB.
Yeah, he's a guy that I believe is going to be like a future cornerstone. Because his ability to talk and his ability to lead, you can tell he really understands. He kind of just gets it all. So even when you go like football wise, look at him play. He's a guy that knows how to play football. Like, and so when Trent talked about him, he just talked about how versatile he can be or whatever. I was impressed when I first looked at this film when he first committed. His hands, his activity, his counters for a high school guy. I'm sitting here like, dang, he's very skilled. He's either well coached or just took the coaching that he got well, because he puts it all together. So when you have guys like that, you bring them in, it just rubs off on the other guys. Like a lot of guys that come in as projects, they just got speed and strength or measurables. Here's a guy that come in and is like, no, I know how to play the game. I know how to put counters on you. I know how to turn power to speed or speed to power. I know what I'm doing. And I know how to play multiple positions. You can trust me to be in the right position because I understand scheme. Stuff like that is so important. I don't think people really understand how mental the game of football is. So I'm glad that we have him, and I just look forward to seeing his UAB career evolve as the years go.
And no doubt. And, before we move on to with both of those guys, from the Birmingham area committing to UAB, this is something that I asked Trent Dilfer during the media time that he had today. And I just, brought up both these guys as examples of, recruiting local talent. And Trent Dilfer was, very, very quick to say, yes, we will recruit locally, in the Birmingham area, but not just Birmingham, Montgomery, Mobile, like they are making that an emphasis. But also, what I really loved that after that, he said, look, we are going to bring in national guys to UAB. And like, he just says it so confidently. And like, I mean, you see what he's able to do in just a couple weeks. So I'm really excited to see what Trent Dilfer does on the South Side. Like if he can do this in a couple weeks and, get 15 guys, 15 really talented guys, some of those really talented local players, then Darren, I'm getting really excited to see what he can do.
Yeah, that confidence really like oozes through him, and it's contagious, right? It's like, dang, you feel that confident, I feel confident too.
Exactly, man.
And I think that's important.
for sure. And and he talked about his recruiting. Like he just always what he said what's most important to him is just being transparent with the players, being just honesty. Like he really wants it to be kind of a trust relationship between him and the players' parents too. So yeah, so hats off to Trent Dilfer so far. Let's see how it continues to go from here, but definitely like what I see so far. But let's go ahead and move on to the next guy, Eamon Smalls, aka Biggie Smalls, defensive lineman from Ladies Island, South Carolina. It's a big boy there. It's a
Yeah.
big boy, man. 3-star defensive tackle. I think he's listed at 6'4", 330, 320. He's around that, but hey, pick UAB over South Carolina, West Virginia, Liberty, a bunch of school, East Carolina. Um, he went to Full Shear High School in Texas, but I mean, this guy's a stud. Like he's got the size like already to come in and make an impact on that defensive front. Might need to tune some things, but man, like this dude pops on film. Like I really like you. Don't get the nickname Biggie Smalls without doing something.
Right. And what I want people to see is like the quality of guys that we have in the trenches,
Yes.
especially on that D line. Like these are guys that turn down P5 offers, and they go and come in here as freshmen, and some going to redshirt. But a lot of these guys are guys that's coming in. They already have size. Like this, come on now, this guy's huge. He's coming in, and he has some pop to him. He's had some pop to his game. That the same strength that we acknowledged with Connor Knight. Same thing with Big E, but his may be more size related to where I think Connor is more bench press type of strength. I think Connor I think Big E, I think his is more so his size and how he's able to lean. So I can see him being a one tech or the one that's a guy over that nose guard, and I can see Connor probably being a 3 tech. If he stays at like 280, 275, I can see him being a 3 tech and just really learning how to get upfield, pass rush, but then learning how to run stop and be, from that place. So another great get in the trenches, another guy, just quality, man. Just real. I keep coming back to that word, quality. But we are yet to see. I don't want to butcher his name, Coach. Defensive coordinator.
Oh, come on, man. We rehearsed it like 10 times last episode.
Yeah, we really practiced it, but now I just went blank, and I feel like I'm going to butcher his name if I say it. I will. I refuse to do it.
But you can tell, like he's getting or you can tell what he's going after. Like he knows how important it is to have those guys up front, to have those guys for the trenches, like you just said. Like you could already tell kind of his philosophy.
Yes, and I'm excited because we bring back Michael Fairbanks. We bring back Fish McWilliams. We bring back Drew Tuazama, who was really coming on and becoming a stud. We bring back Kevin Penn. And then guys that redshirted like Joker Gill. So I love just having that firepower already there. Now we're supplementing them with some good quality players, quality guys that turn down top G5 and P5 offers.
No doubt. The next guy that signed was an offensive lineman, so it's important to get some of these guys because we are losing a few guys from this year's offensive line that have been instrumental to getting that UAB ground game going with Dwayne McBride and Jermaine Brown. But Jalen Nettles, offensive lineman from Northwest Community College, Mississippi, 6'5", 320, probably going to play offensive tackle. But I didn't get to watch much film on him, I believe. But hey, just looking at the size, Darren, I mean, 6'5", 320, like that's a good size offensive tackle.
Yeah, so when I saw Trent's comments about Jalen Nettles being a plug and play starter, I'm like, well, let me see what this dude talking about. Because if you look on the team, we have Trey Bodowski, We have guys like Quez Yates, who I was excited about. I want people to remember the guys that we had. I was excited that we signed Quez Yates.
And
His film
Richie.
was really
Oh
good.
yeah.
Yeah, Richie, he plays guard, but he like Richie, Tater Reed, who was hurt, but he was a good get. I remember we signed I can't think of the guy name. He was from like Hewitt Trustville out of it was a offensive lineman we got on the flip last year, and he flipped to us. And off top of my head, I can't think of his name, but he played tackle also. So we have talent here, and Trey Bodowski has gained experience. It's gonna be two tackle positions open. So I was like, man, let me see what he's talking about, man. Jalen, but I was really, really impressed by Jalen Nettles' film. I didn't understand why he didn't have a lot of other big offers, because that's the first thing you think about. It's like, oh, it's a depth field, JUCO. He didn't have many offers. We needed some depth. No, this guy can play. Like I don't understand how recruiting works sometimes, because I put it this way: we had Leon Bell. He was a tackle that was signed, that was committed here. Him and I think it was Wallace Unumba, but they decommitted it when Coach Vincent was replaced.
Yeah.
Leon Bell was unranked when he was committed to us, but then afterwards he was starting to get a lot of offers, and now I believe he ended up signing with Mississippi State. And I looked, and they got him almost a 4-star.
Mm.
I was like, how does that work?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How does that work? Because when we had him, he wasn't even ranked. But now all of a sudden he's such a good pickup for Mississippi State. How does this work? So because when I look at Jalen Nettles' film, and no slight, I'm not a scout. I'm not a pro scout. I did play offensive line. I think I know something about the position. When I look at Jalen Nettles' film, I came away more impressed. Now Leon Bell was 6'8", so I guess that had something to do with it, was his height. But Jalen Nettles is 6'4", and he's 340. And the guy can move. And what I was really impressed by is like his intangibles, his footwork. Like, it was not sloppy. He had the correct posture. I was surprised by how well he can move, man. And just how technical sound he was. And I'm like, oh, he really is. He was pancaking guys. Like, go back and look at this film. You're gonna be like, oh, I see what you mean. It was pancaking guys. It was a certain level of mobility that I felt like we didn't have at that position this year. And he had that, and he had the dog. And what I was really impressed by, a lot of times in the film, before the play really started, you see him pointing and showing the tight ends like, all right, we got this guy. He knew exactly where he was gonna go. And I cannot tell you on the offensive line how important it is for an offensive lineman to know what he's gonna do. I played with guys that had all the physical traits, but mentally the game would overwhelm them,
Just a
and they
little too
needed help.
fast. Yeah.
Yeah, it was going too fast for them. And those intent, all of those measurables that you have, it doesn't matter in that moment, because you can't play fast because you're thinking. So now all of a sudden this guy done got to your shoulder. It's over with. You 350 pounds, 6'7", but you don't know what to do. So now you're second guessing yourself. I saw him move so sure. Like, he knew exactly where he was going. He was getting on his guys. He was pancaking them. I was like, man, well, maybe he's awful in pass setting or something. I saw pass setting. He was pass setting fine. He was technically sound. His had good stance. He wasn't sloppy, and he could move. I don't understand why this guy didn't have P5 offers. I'm gonna go back and look at the huddle film, but I came away like, oh damn, this was a steal. This was really a steal. So props out to Tristan Henderson and Coach Diff and those guys. I think that Jalen Nettles signing was a real diamond in the rough.
Love to hear that. Love to hear that. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that.
Yeah,
Got me excited, man.
I came away really excited, like, ooh, this is like a upgrade from what we had. So
Nice.
I'm pretty excited.
Nice. Well, moving to the defensive side of the ball, James Smire, linebacker from Columbus, Georgia, went to Central Phoenix High School. This is a guy that actually transferred from Marshall. He played at Marshall last year. 6'3", 220. He was a 3-star coming out of high school at Central Phoenix. I feel like Smire's going to be more of a kind of like an outside linebacker,
Mm-hmm.
maybe edge rusher, maybe just outside linebacker. But Darian, what pops off to you about Smire?
Missile. Like, so if you look at him already, he's like well put together. Like he lifts weights a lot. You know what I'm saying? He's just like, oh, this is a 5% body fat type of guy or whatever. But how does that, muscles? How does that transfer to the field? Man, I know. I remember Reuben Foster earlier. This was kind of like what that remind you of? Just a missile. So when I saw his film, I'm like, oh snap. This speed, the first thing I think about, like, and I think we're prioritizing, but he's one of those guys that's coming to make contact. So I don't know how he is in coverage. There wasn't much of that. It was a lot of head hunting out there. And that's what it gets me excited. I think he's going to be a guy. I wouldn't be surprised if he fights for a starting position, if he really gets with coach and he understands the system, because he has the speed. He's going to lay you down. That's what I'm really looking for in a linebacker, especially outside linebackers, just to have the speed, because most of the time they can keep up with a running back if they got the speed. But like, you want them to fly backside, boom, lay something down, and he was doing that like all over his film. So I think we have a missile. I love guys like that play with that mentality. So
And also
another
too, going
impressive
into a
side.
league like the AAC where they a lot of teams like to air it out and spread it around. Like you want somebody that's quick that can
Right.
can cover and get out real quick. So yeah, I agree with that.
Yes, yes. I'm excited about this signing. I just see these little toys. Not, I don't mean to call the kids toys, but
No, no, they don't.
for the
Yeah,
defensive coordinator, these
yeah.
pieces that he has to just play with and put in different positions. And I think it's impressive how because linebacker was a major need, and I think it's impressive the guys they got to fill in those needs. Man, it's just, I think we're gonna see a lot of flying around.
Well, speaking of flying around, hey, it's enough talking about those linebackers and those linemen on the defensive side and offensive line. But hey, what about those wide receivers, man?
Woo,
How
love it.
about UAB signing Malachi Holt Bennett, wide receiver out of Fairfield, transfer from Indiana? Yes, I know UAB fans. UAB originally had him before he went to Indiana. But hey, got him now. I mean, 6'3", 188. You lose a guy like Trey Shropshire, like Darren, you can't not be excited about Bennett to see what Malachi Bennett can do out there for UAB.
Yeah, I remember us being so excited when we almost had him coming out of high school, and because his film coming out of Fairfield was just so impressive, just tall. Um, when I went back and I looked at his film, just to refreshing up on it, I saw a guy that's just like, I'm thinking about those games, those 2021 UTSA games. I'm like, man, we could have used a guy like Malachi just in those moments. He just seemed to make catches in tight spaces,
Mhm.
and then he can make a play with the ball in his hands, but he has a large catch radius. He has sure hands. He has hops. Like, he can get up there. He's athletic, and he just seems like a receiver. I don't know what to tell you. Like, he just seems like a guy that you want to feel in crucial situations, and he's just somebody you want on your side. And he made a lot of catches in congested areas, and I'm like, bro, we can really really use him. Like, we can put him out there, and it was so many games that was tight. It felt like, where I felt like in this offense with Brian Vincent, like, if we weren't running the ball, what were we gonna do? Who were we gonna go to for real to? I mean, yeah, we went to Trey a lot, but a lot of times Trey was like a deep ball, or I'm talking about a guy that was known to put a route on and make a contested one-on-one catch against the other number one cornerback. like an in route, something, something like that. And I just feel like we really got our guy.
And also, I mean, he played last year, for our this past year for Indiana, had 6 catches for 90 yards. So I mean, this is a guy that played at the Big Ten level. So definitely excited and caught a touchdown pass in 2021, I believe. So definitely excited to get Malachi Holt Bennett over to UAB and in
Yeah,
that wide receiver room.
and I think he'll come over as a sophomore if 1 year is a
Hmm.
red shirt. So he's gonna be young. He's gonna be able to hopefully play 3 years in this program. So that's why I really think this was a really, really good pickup.
Definitely. Well, another wide receiver that UAB got from the JUCO ranks, B.J. Hawkins from Navarro. This is a guy that had 28 catches for 586 yards and 4 TDs this past season for Navarro. This is a guy that also can return kicks, and he actually returned one for a TD on his huddle film. So, really talented JUCO wide receiver. Darian, anything else pop off to you for B.J. Hawkins?
Um, I was just looking at Trent Dilfer. His
Oh, hold on. He said something. Hold on.
Yeah, it says coming tomorrow to UAB football. Freak alert. So it must be
Oh, now
the
he gonna hold it till
16th guy.
tomorrow, man. Come on.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's okay. So hey, so when you guys listen to this, what's tomorrow? Thursday. Yeah. So evidently we just missed the 16th guy, but oh well.
Dang.
I know it makes you like. But see, if we would have waited to record, or they're just gonna have to listen to us talk. If we would have waited to record till Thursday, like evening, like it would have went out late Thursday night or Friday morning, and folks are already traveling for the holiday. Like I just don't. I
Yeah,
don't know.
man.
Hey, but more important, hey, follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/blazerpod. We got all the scoop. Oh, hey, Darren, give everybody your personal handle because I feel like we don't give out our personal handles much.
Oh yes. My personal handle is at they THEY dread DREAD 75 is because I used to have dreads and they used to fear me number 75. So I've kept the same Twitter handle for the longest since I played. And Mr. John Duncan, would you mind giving him your handle?
Yeah, my personal account is at John C. Duncan. So definitely give us both a follow, but make sure definitely you're following the Blazer Victory podcast and give our personal accounts a follow. And I'm sure you will be seeing us talk about that on our Twitter accounts, who that 16th mystery person is. But Darren, BJ Hawkins, just another good wide receiver, UAB. And, he's coming from JUCO, so he's already got a couple years experience, so I think,
Another playmaker with good speed,
yes.
good route runner. I just think he's just gonna be another guy. I think he's gonna be a rotation guy we're gonna be able to put out there, and probably more than likely probably in the slot.
Yeah.
And I think he's gonna be able to game break. I think he's gonna be able to get his opportunities. He kind of reminds you of like a TJ Jones. So I think he's gonna be able
Hmm.
to like get his opportunities when he can, and I think he's gonna do his thing with him. 'Cause it's such a loaded room.
Hey, no doubt. No doubt. Well, the next guy that came in, Jamarcus Jones, defensive back from Mississippi Gulf Coast, also from the JUCO. This guy's 6'5", 220. He actually, are my notes correct where he played linebacker as well? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he's
In
like
his
an
film,
outside linebacker.
yeah, he was more of an outside linebacker. That's right. And hey, my notes from his film is that this man can lay the wood. Like he was knocking some guys out.
So this is what I mean. You can tell what coach is going for here. Another guy he's long and rangy. So he's gonna be outside backer. But another guy with speed. I believe he used to be a former receiver, gained weight, and I believe he became a linebacker. He was a flip. I think he was committed to UTEP. We was able to flip him. Just like you said, a guy that can get you down, a guy with speed. So I expect our defense to have guys that's running all over the place, getting to the ball and gang tackling. But if one of our outside backers get there, they're gonna lay down. And with his range, I'm pretty sure we're gonna walk him send him on blitzes, walk him up on the outside, in certain third down packages, and let him use his speed and let him use his length. So I see the vision, man. I like what we're going for.
Visions of maybe Alex Wright.
No, so when I think of Alex Wright, he was like a Drew Tuazama.
Yeah.
He was like power rushing.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So when I think of how can I put
Maybe
him?
like a Kyle Harrell using that speed to get around the edge.
Yeah,
And
but but at the same time, Kyle Harrell was barely 6 foot. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, that's not.
So
Yeah.
with him, he's long. He's like the baby. He's a Alex Wright, Kyle Harrell baby.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And
Like an infusion of the two. Yeah.
right. So he's just long and he's not as big as Drew or as Alex, or it's not as speedy and compact. But he's just a mixture of the two, and he can. So it brings a certain versatility. And I think that's kind of what we're going for, is the versatility to kind of move in different spots on different sub packages on defense, and just utilize them the correct way.
And for you guys listening, we are at an hour. So we want to appreciate you guys listening to us. We've just got 5 more guys that Darian and I want to talk about. That next guy being a local guy, Darian, Amari Thomas, wide receiver out of Pinson Valley High School. I mean, this is a guy, 5'10", 180, chose UAB over Virginia, Arkansas State, Army, and Alabama State. I mean, this was a good get for UAB. Another good get for that wide receiver room. So, hey, this wide receiver room for UAB is about to get a whole lot better.
Yeah, like this is another guy, right? Just another playmaker. I'm glad we were able to keep him. He was another dude I was really looking forward to. Like, man, just hoping. Like, man, can we keep him? So he reminds me a lot. It's funny because we brought him in at the same time, but Jackie Williams.
Oh, I remember Jackie Williams. Yeah.
Jackie Williams, he was a stud as a freshman, and Jackie Williams came in with JJ, and we'll get into JJ later too.
Yeah.
But this is what this reminds me of. He reminds me of Jackie Williams so much because he has the breakaway speed, but he has the body control,
Mm-hmm.
and he has the playmaking ability. So he can get up and make plays, but then when he get the ball, he can put a move and he can break out. Just seemed like a complete receiver. Seems very confident in himself, and that's what Jackie was like. And Jackie produced as a true freshman. I played with Jackie. He produced as a true freshman, and he got all freshman honors in a way much tougher USA when I played. So yeah, I'm really excited about this one. Pinson Valley guy, and we was able to keep a local guy home, and I think he's gonna be a star.
I think so too. And this next guy, Darren, we've talked about before as well. Chris Bracy, safety from out of Mobile, out of St. Paul's Episcopal, 3-star defensive back. Played safety as I just mentioned. Chose UAB over Kentucky. I mean, and you look at his film. My goodness, how many interceptions did he have in his
No,
highlights?
he had a lot of them. I was like, golly, I see a lot of picks, man. I couldn't even count, but he reminds me of Grayson Cash.
Yes, he does.
That's what he reminds me. Just a good football player. It's hard to like it's kind of hard to like really say what it is that these guys have, because he was at safety. He was a safety, and they just have a knack for the ball. And I hate saying that without saying how they have the knack for the ball.
But it's
But I'm
true.
just
Like they always find a way to be where the ball is. Like it's just an instinct. I don't know how else you explain it.
yes, like, and we're gonna get into it, but when you see like Jalen Ferguson, you see the length and the speed. When you see like Ricky Lee, you see the toughness, you see the pedigree, you just see the confidence. But then when I looked at Chris, looking at Bracy, I just see him making plays. Like it ain't like none of the other stuff. It's just like, oh, he's at the right spot. Oh, it's a turnover. Oh, look who's right there breaking up the pass. Like, how did he get there? It ain't like he got good speed, but it ain't top end. Got good athleticism, but it ain't talking about how is he making the plays every time? Just put him on
Mhm.
the field then. Oh, he make plays. You know what I'm saying? He just has it. He just got it. So it's like a Grayson Cash clone to me.
Definitely. And hey, this is a guy too that's been committed to UAB for a long time as well. Like I was that going back to summer, I think that he's been committed. Kind of.
Yeah, he had a lot of
So
good offers too.
he did. Um, well, next guy, we've got one more for our offensive line. Alfonso Leomidi out of California, 6'4", 310, played a lot of right guard, and he played tackle too. But I do know that Trent Dilfer mentioned that he's probably going to, trying to mold him into just being a guard, you know, at some point at his UAB career. But excited to get him, get another, hey, talented body in that offensive line room. So definitely excited to see what he might bring eventually to UAB.
Yeah, I think he's more of a project higher ceiling
Yeah.
guy. I can see
Hmm.
I can see the tools, but he needs to be coached up some. And he comes in with ideal size for a freshman, and I think he
Hmm.
comes from a good pedigree of a high school out there. So I'm excited. I see the vision. It's like some of these picks, some of these pickups, you see the vision with him, and I really see the vision with him. I see the motor. I see the desire to want to. I see the measurables. I just see things in coaching, and then I think when he get in the weight room, he's gonna get more solid and everything. You come in as a freshman on the offensive line. It's very rare that you'll come in and start. Or even play. So I think he'll come in red shirt, and I'll be excited to see him after his red shirt year.
No doubt. We've just got two more signees to go over. And hey, Darren, you mentioned JJ Nelson earlier. You and I were talking earlier in the day about how this guy reminded both of us of JJ Nelson. Cameron Shanks, wide receiver out of Prattville. Whew, have you seen
Yes.
anybody as fast as this guy on film? Like,
No.
golly, this guy's quick.
No, I don't think nobody on this current team
Mm-mm,
would be close to him in speed.
mm-mm.
I don't think so at all. The dude is just the speed pops out. And you know what else makes me excited about him is like he's another guy that he really shined at the Mississippi Alabama game. I believe he
Yes,
did.
he did.
And those are like the top guys in the state, in both
Mm-hmm.
states out there. So if you shine there, that's really saying something. He was a Liberty commit, was able to flip him. He had a lot of good offers as well. He could have arguably was like the best playmaker in the state this year. He was a surprise, like he wasn't on our radar, and he was just like, bam, oh yeah, we got Cam Shanks. It's like, oh wait, I didn't know this was the guy that we were. I didn't know it was like that, man.
Hmm.
But then I said, man, let me check out this film because see what he got going. I was like, ooh,
Yeah, and
like,
that's against like Hoover High. Like, there's some really good teams he went up against at
and
Prattville. So
and he is running past angles. Like
yes,
these dudes got angles on them, and he just
just go right past them.
yeah. So when you text me with the JJ comparison, I said, I can see it. Now I played with JJ, and it's hard to really let people know like how his speed was, like to just really tell you about it. You just have to see it. So a lot of times I try to shy away from that comparison. But looking at this film, I'm like, yeah, I see
And he can return kicks too. So
it. Yes, yes. I think if anything, if he doesn't redshirt his first year, he's definitely gonna be the return man.
oh yeah,
Definitely. It
oh
ain't.
yeah.
It shouldn't even be a question.
No doubt. Yeah, get him back there on kickoffs with Jermaine Brown, but yeah, on punt returns, yeah, just let him do it.
Yeah.
But definitely excited to get Shanks on board to UAB. And you mentioned some of those offers. I mean, coming from Prattville, he had an offer from Troy, which is nearby. Like, it's. I mean, yeah, it's this is a great pickup for UAB. Other offers included Tulane, Liberty, like Darren just mentioned, Southern Miss. But again, really good pickup for UAB. Uh, One final signee of the 15, at least December 21st at 9:35, is Jalen Ferguson. And this was a guy that we were also really excited to get. Darren, an athlete, probably going to be at that corner spot. But you mentioned earlier, I mean, he's got the length already. He's got the speed as well. Like, this is a guy that can really be special for UAB. And we were talking earlier. You look at some of those promos that they cut uh, on Twitter for when he signed with UAB. Some of those announcers were saying like this guy can play pretty much anywhere on the field. Like he's that talented. But
Yeah,
Darren,
so
aren't you excited about getting Ferguson?
yes, I'm excited. I think it's another guy that the staff was able to see and they saw the measurables. So I think that's what really stood out. He has really good body control as well. I saw on the pic, and he can feel an alley. But I think one guy now the one guy was really making some high comparisons. He said Richard Sherman. He said Kelly
I heard that.
Ringo.
I was like, oh
I'm like,
man.
whoa, buddy. You know what I'm saying? Let's slow down.
Yeah.
But I can see what he was going for if you're talking about prototype, because you're talking about measurables, you're talking about height. This guy's about 6'4" playing corner.
Right.
If you come on now, you can't find that often. You know what I'm saying? So I think if you got like a tight end or something, or, a big 6'7" guy or a big receiver, you can easily go throw a guy like Jalen on you. You're not gonna find too many 6'4" corners. That's just
Not at
rare.
all.
So you thinking, 6'4", he must be slow. No, he's a track guy. He's a blazer, like pun intended. He's a blazer. And he can run. He can really run. So I can see where they was coming from with those comparison. This is a pure, like, I felt like measurables. Hey man, you don't get too many of these guys. So whatever we need to teach him, we gonna coach him up type of sign. Like we can do it. He has good ball skills and everything. We'll coach the rest. Just give him here, because I ain't gonna be able to find that nowhere else. 6'4" guy that can really run, that has enough twitch in his hips to play man-to-man corner. Yeah, give me that guy. And we gonna make him into something special. We're gonna make him into that Richard Sherman and Kelly Ringo that we talked about. So I'm excited to see if they're gonna be able to complete that mission of making him into that type of player. He has the potential. He has the ceiling. I don't know where his floor is at, but he has a high ceiling.
No doubt. And well, Darren, that's all 15 guys that were announced today on December 21st. Fire breathers only, man. I love these 15 guys. I know we're gonna get a 16th tomorrow, and we'll get some more in February. I believe the UAB official account just tweeted out February 5th is signing day, I believe, and that's 205. Yeah, February 5th. So 205 day, the area code for Birmingham. Yeah, so that's kind of cool.
I'm excited, seeing Trent Difford tweet, that little minions, emoji saying freak alert coming tomorrow.
Yes.
So we're gonna see if we get like a game breaker. Like we signed 6 receivers.
Yes.
That's letting you know, like, so we got 6 receivers with Samario Rudolph, with Fred Ferrier, with Tajon Palmer, TJ Jones, all these type of guys that we got on the team already.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited. Like, I'm super excited. So, freak alert. I'm so curious that make me think that it's not a lineman. Like,
yeah, I think it's got to be a skill.
It's got to be a skill guy. So I'm thinking I think we're gonna wait to February to get a quarterback. That's got me thinking, like, is this another playmaker? Is this a big time playmaker?
Maybe.
I don't know, because I think we're gonna wait to February. I can see us signing like a quarterback and a running back. In February we probably just, get a running back out of the portal. And try to get a stud quarterback. And probably really just try to get more offensive linemen. I think we did really good at DB. I can see us getting 1 or 2 more DBs, maybe a JUCO guy, because we're losing CD Daniels, and we're losing Starlin Thomas. Yeah. We're losing Devordrick Bynum. So we're losing a lot of depth there. I think we have a lot of guys that was already on the team. I'm happy that we'll get D-Mac back healthy, and then we'll have Kobe Dempsey is gonna definitely be a starter. I'm happy about that.
Yes.
So I think
real quick correction. I said February 5th is signing day. So February 1st, Wednesday, February 1st is National Signing Day in February. That's what we all know as the original signing day in February. It's Wednesday, February 1st, but UAB is holding an event Sunday on February 5th where Dilfer's going to talk to the public um, on Sunday, February 5th. So that will be 205 day. So I just wanted to correct that really quick.
Okay, yeah, good correction. But yeah, I can see us feeling just a quarterback, just a running back, maybe a couple of offensive linemen and DBs during that time. Even though we already kind of, I think we probably need to hit O line just a little bit more.
Hmm.
But other than that, I think we can be choosy. I really like what we did. I really like how we addressed. We talking about addressing needs. We like
Sheesh.
we went after them like
We
linebackers
did.
and receiver. Come on, we've got playmakers and we have D linemen. Like hey, we good, and we. I think I see the philosophy really really well, and I'm proud of how Trent was able to pull this off. Trying to get a staff together, trying to relocate to a new city, trying to learn this program and make a awkward situation really, really a smooth like transition. Trying to recruit the guys on the team. That's a lot of stuff to do.
It is, man. Major props to Trent Dilfer. Like I mean, yeah, people don't realize what all he had to do coming in, and kind of the doubt people were throwing his way, and I mean that's coming from everywhere. That was not just fans, by the way. That's from in all directions. So major props to him coming in early signing day, signing 15 guys, hopefully 16 tomorrow. Um, Still got February to get some more dudes in. So hey, fire breathers only. I love that hashtag.
Yeah, I do too. And I also think it's impressive that we actually got the guys signed. I know
Yes,
a lot of years prior
you
we
get the
would have like
commitment, but
yeah, we'd have like 19 commitments, 13 signees. It used to drive me
oh,
nuts, but like we got them all signed, so
hmm
I'm happy. I'm just excited about tomorrow and ready to see this stud player. I think we even got the UAB football account in on it. It says Coach Differ, size 15 players, and isn't done yet with the eyes. Like, don't do this to us.
nice. Oh, because hey, was it 9:45, man? It's past my bedtime.
Yeah, man, it's time to go to sleep, man. Let's go ahead. We done gave them good content for today.
Yes. Hey, so what are we at? An hour 17. So if you stuck with us through this whole hour and 17 minutes, thank you so much for listening to the Blazer Victory podcast. We'll be back next week to, start to really, really dive into some basketball. I know we've got some basketball only people that have been dying for some more basketball content. We hear you. We will deliver it next week. Big game Thursday night. Well, if you're listening to it Thursday, tonight against UAB opens up Conference USA play against Charlotte, a really good Charlotte team. So hopefully they can take care of business on the hardwood in Bartow Thursday night. And we'll be back next week to recap that game and get you ready for the next couple games in Bartow. But before we go, Darian and I just wanted to thank all of our Blazer Victory podcast listeners for listening to us, sharing us with others, and we also just want to just wish you a wish you guys a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Whether you're traveling in the freezing cold to get to wherever you need to go, just be safe. But we really appreciate all that for today. Hey, hanging in for almost an hour 20 with us breaking down National Signing Day for UAB. We would not be doing this if it weren't for you loyal listeners. So we greatly appreciate you guys and just hope that you all have a happy holidays and a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, man, just safe travels.
Yes.
Be
Well,
safe, and if you're traveling in snow, make sure you got the right tires on your car. You know how we are in the South if we get
oh
snow.
man, everybody freaks out with it. Yeah, please drive carefully. Please drive carefully. Oh man. Well, all right,
So
Darren.
we love you guys, man. We really do. And this is a family. We know a lot of you guys. So we just want to see you guys be safe and have a happy holidays. That's all.
No doubt. Well, Darren, you want to close us out, buddy?
Yes, sir. Blazer Nation, let's go to sleep. Let's ride.
That's right.